Hey everyone, welcome to Like a Boss podcast. And I'm pretty excited today to bring you Courtney Smith Kramer. She's the founder of not one, but a couple of companies. She helped pioneer the movement human to human with respect to relations between HR personnel and the staff that they support. And she's recently founded Pure Matter, a marketing agency that's largely targeting tech companies. Hey, Courtney.
Hi, thanks for having me, Loralyn.
Well, we're always excited to bring in new guests, and I know you're coming to us live from California. So tell us about the California situation. How many brownouts are you guys experiencing every day?
Oh my God, 2020 is delivering every day a new version of hell, fresh hell. The pandemic and the upcoming divisiveness of the election and the fire situation wasn't enough, so they decided to throw in a heat wave at the same time.
Oh, why not, right? Just keep adding to it. Well, let's dive right in here. We're glad that you could join us today. So tell us a little bit about Pure Matter and what stage your company's at.
Yeah, so Pure Matter is marketing consultancy that was actually founded in 2002 and has taken on many iterations over the course of riding on the back of the Silicon Valley wave, as well, from going to just one of the first integrated marketing agencies in the Valley, and then trying to stay one step ahead of everything, and sort of ended its run with employees in 2016 as an influencer marketing agency. They're hard to take care of at the level that we wanted to take care of them. So we decided just to go work from home and be contractor only, and have been that ever since.
I applaud you sharing your vulnerability like that and the challenges. That's what this podcast is all about, is for people to be real and share what's going on as business owners.
Well, it's tough being a business owner, especially a small business owner. And my heart goes out to all of the small business owners right now that are trying to weather this particular situation of what's going on, and especially for marketers, trying to pursue clients who have the funding to be able to still market. Right now is actually the time to market. Most people cut marketing budgets first in hard times, but it's actually the opposite, counterintuitive. Like, this is the time when you have to market and market differently. Companies without a soul are not going to survive this pandemic. So having a clear idea about what the heartbeat is of your company is never been more important than it is now.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit more about your mission and vision. Sounds like you were kind of leaning towards that with that last answer.
It's really important for people to have at least just an understanding about their core value set as a company, because companies, like people, have personalities. And the core tenets of our H to H movement, our human movement, are really three things: celebrating the things that make us human beings unique. So our simplicity, our ability to get really clear and simple about what we care about; our empathy, so being able to walk in other people's shoes and having a heart and understanding how to reach out from your heart to someone else's heart to understand with compassion what they're going through; and imperfection. Like, I'm glad that you mentioned vulnerability, because oftentimes as human beings, we're taught as we grow up that showing your imperfection is a bad thing. And we actually believe that your imperfections as an individual and as a company are what make you totally unique. And it's actually your competitive advantage to capitalize on that and bring those up to the forefront and celebrate them and make them your differentiator against why someone would want to go with you or not. Because chances are there's plenty of people out there that are going to identify with things that make you imperfect. So bubble those up to the top.
Sounds like some good leadership lessons there. Maybe you'd like to tell us a little bit about what you think makes you a good leader.
Well, to me, leadership is just giving yourself full permission to be your authentic self. And I know, like, authentic is a buzzword now, unfortunately, that a lot of people use, and I feel like it's overused. But for the last 3.5 years, I was helping the Coactive Training Institute, which is the world's largest in-person coach training and leadership development company. One thing that was really underscored for me during my time there was, when we give ourselves full permission, and it's way harder to do than it sounds, we fully live into our true authentic selves. And when we do that, we give other people permission to live into their true authentic selves. And that's where the freedom is. not constraining who we are, not being afraid. People have identity crises in their lives because they start believing that they need to be something that they're not and start behaving in that way that they are not. And the more you behave how you are not, the less like yourself that you feel, until the point where you can look at yourself in the mirror and not even recognize yourself. And that's a really, really scary place to be. I know, because I've been there. So now, as I'm fully living into my full freaky, eccentric, weirdo self, have never felt more like myself and more empowered to be myself. And I've noticed a shift in how other people are around me, like when we're interacting, and it's so much more comfortable. It's so much more enriching. It's so much more empowering for both.
And I think that's something to be said too about age. Like, it's not just so much that you lose your filter or, dilate your filter. It's more that you just stop caring what other people think and you feel more free to be you.
Yep, totally. I think that I turned 50 last November, and
Woohoo!
yay, 50. So there was something, I don't know, like something shifted for me too in that, like turning 50, and then I think in the pandemic as well. I don't know about you, but I've certainly talked to other women, and I think that there's something kind of magical. Like, if there's any silver lining in this whole pandemic situation, it's just that in the slowdown, in the great pause of 2020, it has given us space and time to reflect inward, which I think in the way things were before, with the noise and the busyness and the pressure to perform and all this stuff, women were so focused on outward things that this pandemic has given us a chance to really reflect inward, and it's been very empowering. I mean, I know for me, and I have never been more crystal clear about my value that I offer to the world, and never been more confident about what I can bring to the table. And I know I couldn't say that a year ago. No way.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think that's part of the positivity, look for that silver lining, even in something as dark, as the pandemic.
Yeah.
So let's move along here. So Courtney, what's the hardest thing you've ever had to do?
Oh, hardest thing I've ever had to do. Well, only the best life lessons are in the hardest things we've ever had to do, right? Like,
Absolutely.
no one ever learned the easy way. And what's sticking out for me is back in 2000, or 1999, I guess, my daughter was just born. And I was going through a separation with my practice marriage. And I ended up meeting my current husband at a conference. And at the time I was living in Michigan and he was living here in California. And our first meeting was only a couple days, but I knew that like something special was happening. And so we dated long distance for 2 years. And the hardest thing I ever had to do was, there was like a court situation involved, custody with my daughter, and making the decision to leave and having to go to court and fight for my right to move to a place where business and my life was going, was by far the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. Not for myself, well, yes, for myself, but more for my family, because I was born and raised in Michigan. I hadn't ever even dreamed or conceived that moving out of the state was a possibility. And so that experience was so hard.
Maybe this is a good segue into telling us, like, on those bad days, what gives you the strength to keep going?
Tequila.
Whatever works.
No, it's hope, like you're sort of being pulled towards something in those moments. And when you make those decisions, you're going for something. So I think it's just the hanging on to the hope and the dream of it. I guess I'm a dreamer. So that's what gets me through, is just the envisioning of the thing that I want.
Tell us a little bit about how Pure Matter is different from other marketing agencies.
Well, we are a unique group of people. If we were a different, unique group of people, then even if I gave someone a playbook of exactly how Pure Matter operated, no one could replicate it, because we are a unique combination of souls, and we have very high standards about what we will deliver for a client, what the experience is for a client. I know a lot of people say that, but I have to say, like, one thing we're really good at is finding the cracks in the fissure, right? Which is ideas that no one else has had before, the ability to see them across, multi campaigns, touch points, how it all pulls together. Like, we're really good at finding the thread.
If you could change anything from your past, what would be different?
Nothing.
That
Nothing.
answer happens a lot. You'd be
Nothing.
surprised.
Yeah. I no regrets. Right? Like, I mean, I'm a believer in everything happens for a reason and everything is connected. So if even the bad times or challenging times or painful times, they all teach us something. And so no way, I wouldn't change anything. It's like, I can't imagine the butterfly effect. I like exactly where I am right now in my life.
What book do you recommend that we read?
Can I plug mine?
Absolutely. Go for it. Be shameless. Be proud.
I wish I could show you. I just launched over the summer. It's called Be Your Creative, Sexy Self. Humorous stories to help you live a happier life. And it's an easy read. It's a high designed book. I wrote it and designed it. And I think it's funny. The key takeaway is everyone's creative.
That sounds like a great tip for the next generation of women. Or do you have another one?
Follow your intuition. It's never wrong.
Cheers to that. Now, how can our audience help you in Pure Matter, Courtney?
Well, you can start a conversation with me. I'm on Twitter a lot at CS has arrived. Also on Instagram there. And if you need a creativity coach or any marketing consulting help, then give me a shout out. We can help you. I'm really fun to work with. So hit me up.
If your shoe style reflected your personality, are you a boots, sneakers, flats, flip-flops, or something else kind of gal?
Definitely flip-flops, more likely barefoot.
We get that answer a lot from the left coasters. All right, Courtney. Well, thanks again for joining us today and telling us a little bit about Pure Matter and how you're bringing new levels of creativity to help solopreneurs and individual and small businesses put themselves forward into the marketplace. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Loralyn.
And how about that fantastic intro by Touch Circle?